everyone, my name is Spencer from the Santa Cruz Museum of Natural History, and we are here today at Neary Lagoon's Pollinator Garden. The museum, along with city staff and high schoolers from Ponderosa High School, helped put in these plants about a year and a half ago, and after a couple of good springs, you can see that they're all doing very, very well now. What we're going to do today is explore some of these different plants and their strategies for attracting pollinators. So one of the things that's important to think about is, why is pollination important? And why should we create a garden for pollinators? Well, one of the reasons is that worldwide, about half of all of the oils and fats that people eat come from crops that are pollinated by insects such as bees, butterflies, as well as some more interesting animals such as bats. And then another great reason is that all of our crops that we eat commercially, a lot of them need pollinators as well. And worldwide, around 90% of flowering plants need pollinators to help facilitate their reproduction. So this one right here is called Yarrow Achillea millefolium, and this is a great plant for pollinators. You can see it's got these big white clusters of flowers. They form almost these things like platforms, and bees and butterflies and even flies can come and land on them, crawl around and visit each flower without having to hover in place. So it's a nice resting spot as well as a source of food and nectar for the insects and pollinators. Some people recognize it by these little leaves that look almost like small ferns. And another interesting fact about yarrow is that it has lots of traditional uses as a medicine. You could drink it as a tea, and it'll often help with throat aches, and you can often use it right on wounds, and it'll actually help prevent infection if you crush it up and put it right on a wound or a cut. So our next plant is sticky monkey flower, this one with these bright showy orange ones, and it's a great favorite of hummingbirds because they can zip up and stick their long bill right into that flower. Bees also like it as well, and they can actually, some of them can crawl right into it and hang out inside there for a while they get the nectar. Sticky monkey flower actually gets its name from the leaves, and I often played a game when I was young where you would take a leaf and you press it onto your face and stick it there, and then everyone would see how long each of their leaves lasted throughout the day. It's a fun little game you can play, if there's lots of leaves available, of course. You don't want to be picking any wild plants if there's not many of them around. Our next plant is Seaside Daisy right here, Erigeron glaucus, and this is a super important one for some species of butterfly, and it also is critical because it blooms often right through the dead of winter, especially in mild climates like ours here in Santa Cruz. And so because it has flowers for most of the year when other flowering plants don't produce blooms, animals like butterflies can come to it when there's not a lot of other food sources and survive pretty well. You can find these growing in the wild right on the shores, right on the rocky bluffs of cliffs, right overlooking the ocean. And you can find it pretty commonly here in Santa Cruz along Wilder Ranch and other areas. And if you want to check it out, you'll see these small discs of pinkish purple flowers with a big yellow center. This one right here is California buckwheat, and it's a super important plant. It's in fact one of the most important sources of nectar for a lot of species of bee as well as butterflies. And you can also find this one growing right along the coasts. It'll grow on bluffs and rocky areas close to the ocean, as well as a little bit further inland in some grasslands. You can see it's got these tall, almost grabby like spindles that stick out with clusters of flowers at each end. Each one a different bee or butterfly can land on. And in a good season, you can find these covered in different pollinators. One of the interesting things that this garden does well is not only provide food sources for pollinators, but homes for them as well. And so you can see right here, we've got this little box, and it's got bunches of little holes, these tubes stuck through it. And those are actually designed to be homes for different species of pollinators. There's lots of solitary bees and wasps that live alone, and they prefer to burrow into wood or underground, and these are already made for them. And so the idea is that they will attract wasps and bees, and that they will live in those tubes and then pollinate this garden and the surrounding area. This tall one right here is Pacific Aster. And as you can see, it not only grows quite tall, but it has these long stalks that bloom all up and down it, these kind of pinkish purple flowers. And this is another great one. It tends to bloom not only from spring into summer, but often into late fall, and provides a good late season source of nectar, not only for bees and butterflies, but lots of solitary wasps and beetles that pollinate flowers as well. Thank you for taking the time to learn about a few important pollinating plants. We hope you enjoy and celebrate Pollinator Week, which starts June 22nd. And I encourage you to come and check out Neary Lagoon. Not only does it have this wonderful pollinator garden, but it's got a great wetland that you can walk around and look at nesting birds. And I believe that there are baby ducks down there right now. So again, Pollinator Week starts June 22nd. Please try to get out and enjoy it. Thank you.